Let's go over the news headlines of the week as we do each week. We bring in Will Richmond, the digital news editor at the Fall River Herald News, on the phone again this week. Hey, Will, how are you?
I'm good, Keith. How are you?
Good. Let's go over a couple of items of the week. First of all, that tragic story from yesterday morning, that multiple car accident on Interstate 195 East between exits 10 and 11 in Westport. 3 people died, several others injured. Do you have any updates to provide us on either the cause or any other details that have not been in the paper since yesterday?
Sure. Actually, as we talked today on Tuesday afternoon about 1 o'clock today, state police have issued another update. Identities of some of the victims are starting to come in from state police. So they've identified a 68-year-old Dartmouth man by the name of John Oliveria as the driver of the livery van that had crossed the median and struck the other cars. That vehicle was traveling westbound on 195 in the Westport area and crossed over the median. They've also identified the passenger in the livery van as a New Bedford woman, 55-year-old Josephine Mazoka. And then the victim that in the car that was struck by the van has been identified as Caroline Lima of New Bedford. So the names are starting to come out. One sort of, positive out of the update. Yesterday, state police had reported that 2 Fall River men, both in separate cars, were injured. Today, they're correcting that to say one of the Fall River men, a 34-year-old who was operating an Audi, was not injured. So originally yesterday, they had reported 2 injuries that involved Fall River residents, but today we are fortunate to hear it's only 1. Now, given the circumstances.
Yeah. Now, you reported yesterday that there was also a toddler who was injured yesterday. Is that still correct and was transported to Hasbro Children's Hospital?
That is still correct. The toddler, a 3-year-old boy, was in the car that was directly struck by the livery van, along with the 25-year-old Fall River man, the one that was injured, and that man was taken to Rhode Island Hospital. State police are not providing any information in terms of if they are family members. It was the young lady from New Bedford, the man from Fall River, and the 3-year-old boy. So it's not quite clear what their relation is altogether, but they were all in the car together.
Yeah. On the update from earlier this afternoon, any news on potentially what actually went down, why that livery vehicle crossed the median and went into the eastbound lane? Any update on that?
They have not yet. They've not provided any sort of update on what the cause may have been. They are stating that the investigation is ongoing, includes state police from the Dartmouth barracks, the detective unit from Bristol County and the DA's office, and as well as the collision and analysis and reconstruction team and the crime scene services team from the state police.
Right. All right. I know the Herald News will continue to follow this, and just a tragedy all around, and especially early on in the morning, people heading to do their business for the day, and then this happens and literally changes everything. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think a lot of people saw it as they were driving between Fall River and New Bedford yesterday on Wednesday morning.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, let's shift over to business from one government center. City Council met this week, and they acted on a couple of items. One, Mayor Correa presented his Streetscapes campaign. We talked about that in the past. The bonding issue, which went before the City Council for the first time yesterday. We talked a little bit about that, how it was going to look at changing the look of certain parts of the city, Purchase Street and other parts of Fall River. The City Council took that, talked about it for a while, and then ended up doing procedurally what they would do in this instance, is referring it to the Finance Committee. Was anything gleaned in terms of their discussion on Tuesday as to whether this program would eventually see some sort of approval or denial?
Well, I think at this point, it's tough to glean anything from the council at this stage when it comes to matters submitted by the mayor's office.
Right.
Certainly things tend to, the relationship between the two branches of Fall River government can be a little testy at times. But I think the fact that they didn't hold it up, the council has been known to hold up items in the past presented by the city administration, that they are taking this procedurally in the proper manner is a good start in this process. So, I would certainly look forward to the Finance Committee, which is generally where most of the conversations take place, is at the committee level before they head to the full committee.
Right.
But so at this point, I think it's a good start that it is operating procedurally and going in the right procedural direction.
And the Finance Committee is probably expected to take this up at its next meeting, or is that up to the chair?
I believe that it is expected to come up at the next meeting. The Finance Committee, since it's made up of the full council body,
Right.
Typically only meets prior to regular city council meetings. So their next one would be coming up the second Tuesday in October, I believe. So that would probably be the next target date. So, there could be a request to move it back a meeting session to the end of October to give the council more time to look it over, but that would come at the discretion of the city council chairman.
Right. Council also voted to approve some tax incremental financing agreements, or TIFs, some of them relating to the Harbor Mall and the project there. That really wasn't unexpected, was it?
No, this process had already been approved by the TIF board and sent to the council for final approval. I think in general, most people are pleased to see the redevelopment of the new Harbor Mall site. I know the council president, Sean Cadine, he had voted against the TIF that was sought for that site because he felt it should have been all wrapped up into one package of TIFs, which the owners have gotten one for the actual mall site already. This one was to expand the Staples store that's on site and to add some more businesses in that section. So, but I think in general, there's just people are pleased to see the redevelopment of that site, and there was no real holdup in getting that approved at the council level.
Right, and if you drive by that area, there's work being done, physical work. You see some construction going on where Market Basket will be, and you reported on that this week as well, right?
Yes, Market Basket has closed on their section of that site, so they appear to be moving full steam ahead on the reconstruction of what will become the Market Basket section of the development.
All right, well, very good. What's going on at the paper in the next few days?
Next couple of days, we will be gearing up for ballot questions. I think in the next couple of weeks, you'll start seeing a lot of previews of what to expect when you head to the polls, especially with the questions and the topics of the legalization of marijuana and animal treatment, along with charter schools, and on a lesser scale for our area, the approval of another slot parlor in the Boston area.
Right. Very good. All right, Will, we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Have a good weekend, Keith.
Great.